Hello, 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 hello. I hope this is working. Grandmother clock is chiming. I'm on a different platform than I usually am on our Saturday chats. Please let me know if you can see and hear me. I would really appreciate it. Um, for those of you who don't know, we've had some bunny rabbit in the backyard. We've had challenges, technically speaking, over the last several weeks. Turns out it is Good morning. Good morning, Ange. Turns out it was not our router, not our modem, not our Ethernet cables. It seems like there was a systemic thing in our neighborhood with our internet service provider that it's been a problem. So anyway, I hope you can see me. Yay, thank you. And y'all, thank you for doing something different with me. Um this is a different platform. I like it very much. This is the platform I use for uh, my Patreon support group, my private group on Patreon for live streams. So, anywho, I like it. I'm Casey Durango, if you're here for the first time, of Go Keto with Casey, and I talk about how I lost 97.4 pounds after starting the ketogenic protocol, how you may be able to lose weight, improve your health, and regain control of your life like I did. That said, let's just jump on in. And I will say there's a cool feature. If you look at whatever you're on, you should be able to see a speech bubble right below the chat bubble. And you can enter question, comment, suggestion, observation in there, and it kind of gets pinned. It's a pretty neat feature. Thank you, Deborah. Good morning from Alberta, Canada. Nice. And I'm looking to see. Okay, so the title of this is if keto's so great, why doesn't everyone do it? That's a legitimate question. Good question. It's like saying if it's so simple and it brings down blood sugar and it can help with your A1C, it might help with your, blood pressure and your acid reflux, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Where's it been all these years? And why doesn't everyone do it? And why don't doctors recommend it? You could probably fill in some of the answers there yourself. It has been around for years. This did not start with Atkins. For those of you who don't know, I'm going to share with you how I learned the ketogenic protocol and how I've practiced it now for over 11 years. It's essentially the induction period of the Atkins diet. Keep your carbohydrate intake 20 grams or fewer a day, total carbs, not net. Net carbs is just more carbs. If it's not on page 4, I can't say a link below right now. I will when I repost this because this is set up differently than YouTube. Page 4, if it's not on page 4, don't eat it, but you don't even need a food list. Don't eat if you're not hungry. Stop eating when you've had enough. And I've added be patient and persevere. So right in there is a reason, if it's so great, why doesn't everyone do it? Because some people feel like it's very restrictive. Page 4 is full of delicious food. It's essentially fatty sources of protein: poultry, fish, seafood, lamb, pork, beef, ground beef, whatever fatty source of protein you like, eggs, bacon, sausage, etc., etc. And then limited amounts of non-starchy vegetables and limited amounts of full-fat dairy. The vegetables and the dairy are not obligatory. You don't have to eat them. But the next part is the don't eat if you're not hungry. And it's not that people say, well, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to definitely eat if I'm not hungry. Oh, I guess some people do. But I don't think any of us dive into this thinking, well, that sounds great, but I'm going to go ahead and eat if I'm not hungry. No, we think, okay, I just won't eat if I'm not hungry. But we have to learn, what does hunger actually feel like? Right? We have literally our lifetime of eating habits that we might have to correct. And I don't care whether you are 98 years old, yes, you have a lifetime of eating habits, or if you're 18 years old, you have a lifetime of eating habits, some of which we were given not great information, not great suggestions. Move more, eat less, low fat. And Of course, if you go low fat, you go high carb because if one goes down, the other one has to go up. And that is the thing for some people. That it's just, I'm trying it, but it's not working because we're confusing our wish to eat, our impulse to eat, with hunger. Two different things. Now, I'm going to come back to this, but I do want to respect the questions in the question mark. Okay, here we go. So in the speech bubble, okay, so look what happens. Colleen has written, and you can see on your screen the first part of the comment or question. And Colleen writes, good to see you. Thank you, Colleen. And I'm going to go back to comments. I'm going to turn something into a Q&A. That way, the benefit of that is that people viewing this on playback can see it. Yes. Okay. So this is going to go there. Great. So we have a comment from Ange who writes, I do have this question many times. I've had great success and have not eaten 1 grain of sugar or any cheat days for 3 years. However, I do find I struggle with energy, not good sleep, and then it cuts off. So, keto won't fix everything. If you have underlying health issues, you might be anemic. Even though this is a very B12 and often iron-rich nutrition protocol, some people just have naturally lower iron. There could be other things impacting sleep. So if you're otherwise healthy, I would look to those issues, the lack of energy and poor sleep. And of course, the poor sleep could lead to the lack of energy. So maybe the underlying cause of everything is the sleep issue. One of my patrons is a sleep tech and just studies people who have trouble sleeping. And that's very interesting to me. Okay, comments. And pain, okay, and this is extension. And pain has come back in my shoulders and headaches. Not sure why these struggles when eating good keto as per Dr. Westman. I wonder if it's diet soda or other non-sugar sweeteners. Some people have reactions, Ange, to non-sugar sweeteners. For some, it makes them want actual sweet stuff, actual sugary stuff. And for some people, there can just be, it just doesn't agree with you. So again, just because it's allowed on page 4, a la non-sugar, diet sodas, etc., doesn't mean it's the best for everybody. Judy Porterfield, good morning from Michigan. Okay, back to what I was saying. If it's so great, why doesn't everyone do it? Well, some people think they're doing it, but they're eating when they're not hungry because they think they're hungry, because they usually eat at these times every day. We are very, very conditioned to eat the way we've always eaten and the amounts we've always eaten. As we lose weight and we become fat burners meaning instead of burning glucose for fuel, which is what our liver provides for us when we're eating a bunch of carbs, we cut off that fire hose of glucose and our body switches to burning fat for fuel. That's being in ketosis, hence the ketogenic label. We can be burning fat for fuel, but we're eating the way we did before, the quantities, and we just don't need it. If we need less fuel, we should eat less fuel. If you're in ketosis and you're not eating a bunch of fat bombs and added dietary fat, because that is not part of the protocol. You don't add in a bunch of fat. You just eat the fat that comes with the protein. The yolks with the eggs, the skin with the poultry, the band of fat with the pork chop. This is not about fat bombs and MCT oil in exogenous ketones. Those are counterproductive for most people. And you're just wasting your money. You don't have to buy any supplements or kits or powders or potions or anything else to be 100% successful at this. It's not what you put in your body, it's what you don't. It's not what you eat, it's what you don't eat. Don't eat the carbs. Some people, if it's so great, why doesn't everyone do it? Are like I was before. I knew low carb worked for me since 1977. I did. And I would do it and I would have some success. And then I would tell myself, well, that's fine, but I can't see myself going the rest of my life without eating tortilla chips or M&Ms. And so when you have that mindset, that's exactly what happens. You eat tortilla chips and M&Ms. So part of it is a mindset. We just can't imagine not having deep dish pizza every Thursday night. So some of it's a mindset. If it's so great, why don't doctors recommend it? Well, that's a long story. As a rule, doctors are given almost no nutrition studies or education in medical school. Doctors in Western culture are taught to prescribe pills. It's, as some people say, it's not health care, it's sick care, it's illness care. But we want to be healthy. Some people have run into roadblocks with their medical providers. Some have been told, okay, I'm really glad that you lost 36 pounds, but if you're going to keep on with this ketogenic thing, you're going to have to find another doctor. People have been told that. One person I can think of was told that by their obese doctor. So if it's so great, why doesn't everyone do it? Why don't doctors recommend it? It's because there are a billion layers of stuff. Ultimately, we don't have to worry about those 1 billion layers. We need to do what works for us. This is not for everyone. Some people don't need it. Some people are healthy, trim, going to live long, long, long lives, barring, misadventure, and they eat whatever they want. That's great. I'm not that person. And I did this not to lose weight because I gave up on that. Ooh, I'm going to try something, y'all. Stick with me. Stick with me. And I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to come back to just the comments. I'm going to try to show you some befores of me. Let's see if I can do this. Let me know if it works. It doesn't work. I hope I don't jam things up. I want to share. Show. Okay. Can you guys see a picture of me in a bathing suit? No? Oh, good. So that was me because all I see is me, me talking. That was me during the Move More, Eat Less triathlon summer. That's not a happy person. My screen is jumping around. I don't know what's going on. Okay, yes. Oh, there it just popped up for me. That was me. I was working with a nutritionist. I was training for and participating in sprint level triathlons. I don't know how I managed 100 pounds ago. So let me see. How can I do this? If I remove from the stage, and I'm going to try this, and I'm sorry if I'm tentative because this is a new feature. It's one reason I like Crowdcast. The other one is the question and answer. Here's just my face. This was not doing triathlons. I was big. And I knew low carb worked for me. And I continued eating carbs because it's like a stupid human trick, right? We often do things counter to our own best interests, particularly when it comes to food. So I'm going to try to get that off screen, and I thank you for your indulgence. I'm looking. Okay. Hopefully everything's back to normal. So we don't have to answer why doesn't everyone do it. As a matter of fact, it's none of our business, right? No one gets a vote on what we eat. We don't get a vote on what anyone else eats. We might know to our core that if someone with health issues or unhappy with obesity, or if they would just do this, they would feel better and see health improvements. We might absolutely know, but until they know it, it doesn't matter what we know. Just as it didn't matter what everyone else knew until I believed it, until I showed it to myself. And it took me several at bats to really grow. And one of the changes was I gave up on losing weight. I just didn't want to take insulin for type 2 diabetes. All right. So if it's so great, why doesn't everyone do it? Ask yourself. If you're not doing it yet, why is that? If you've done it, left it, come back to it, why is that? And no judgment, throwing no shade, because I've been there. But it really doesn't matter. It would be great if everyone did it and everyone was healthy and it took off much of the burden from the health, medical costs and everything. But we can only do us. So I'm doing me. You do you. And if you can help someone, great. If someone asks you, sincerely wants to know, share your experience. Okay, I'm gonna jump in. Let me see. No reminder, the Q&A bubble. If you want things. Okay, Kimberly Reed writes, I had sleep problems for years. I was finally able to correct it when I started getting in morning sunlight and limiting my blue light in the evenings. Excellent. You know, simple, non medical interventions. Judy writes, the sweeteners don't seem to bother me. I like the ice sparkling water drinks. We can always make keto pizza. LOL. It's a good substitute. Frankly, I'm just as happy with some shredded mozzarella, a bit of pepperonis, maybe some jalapenos under the broiler for 90 seconds. No crust of any type needed. I just like it. By the way, speaking of sparkling waters, I don't have any sponsors. But you see this thing right here? That's my soda stream. I really resisted getting one, but I very much like diet tonic water. I drink it all the time. Squeeze a lime, splash of cranberry. And I was going through a lot of it. So we got the soda stream. I think last count, using the soda stream with the recyclable CO2 canisters, that's 180 bottles worth, plastic bottles worth that are not going to the recycling or ultimately the landfill. Anyway, not a sponsor, if only. But yeah, sparkling water with a little zest in it. Oh, yes, I can see the picture. Thank you, Janine Olson and Judy Porterfield. Love my morning sunlight, too. Thumbs up. Casey, do you have pics along in your journey? Just curious. Well, no, not really. I mean, I have some, but I don't like being photographed to right this very minute, which is ironic in that I am in front of a camera 6 days a week. I have a private support group on Patreon where I do every weekday morning video snippets in front of the camera, and the topics are suggested by patrons. And I do this, and I do other things as well. I've got some, I guess. There's a nice one of my husband and I embracing at one of the Durham support group meetings, but my husband didn't sign up to be on camera in any way. So, I don't want to go all, 8 passengers on it. So I've got some. Some of you might have seen me in person. I don't know. Someone wrote, I don't know. I don't want to go blind and lose limbs to diabetes. Exactly. Yes, I call them pizza bowls. And, Papa John sells them. Papa bowls in our area anyway. And one writes, I wonder if people don't do it because it can be tricky at times. It took me many years before I finally succeeded. I guess that's why there's so much coaching to help people figure it out. Indeed. I do have one-on-one stuff, but our support group's quite good. Okay. We have a question in the Q&A bubble, and this is Kimberly Reed. Do you still do the monthly support group meeting with Dr. Westman each month? No, I think he's starting that back up in Durham in person. For a long time, I moderated them with him in Durham. Then lockdown came. Then we started doing them online here on Crowdcast, as a matter of fact. You can still go to my blog and see some of those, I think. Oh, blog, watch this. I'm going to do another thing. And, okay, I'm really having fun using this. show. See more at my blog. And if you click on it, it'll take you to my blog. Anyway, so, but then that stopped the virtual ones, and he didn't do the in-person ones, but I think he just messaged me a while ago. They're starting back up in Durham on Monday, the 3rd of March. I don't know where. I won't be attending. Oh, but I will be with Amy Berger for the Amy and Casey show the next night here on Crowdcast. Um, we have our own little monthly thing that we do. So, yes, but you can probably, contact Dr. Westman, reach out to him, and get the information on that. But I will not be there. Judy Porterfield writes, I'm going to check into the soda fountain. It is called SodaStream. As a matter of fact, I think it's under my favorite things. If you go to Amazon and get it, I get a little affiliate thing. That's a great suggestion. Plus saves money. It does. Thanks for the pizza bowl info. My pizzeria started making them for me when I told them what I wanted, and just basically no crust on the pizza. And that's how they did it. And it works. And I get an amount of pasta with it to share. Antipasto, LOL. Antipasto. Got you. So, don't be afraid to ask establishments. Our favorite Mexican restaurant we haven't been to in a long time because, frankly, between my husband and I, we can both cook pretty well to replicate foods that we used to enjoy eating out. But our favorite Mexican place, last time we went, we took a bag of pork rinds. We waved off the tortilla chips. We asked for extra spicy salsa. And we placed an order with carne asada, which is what my husband likes. No rice, no beans, extra guacamole, and ensalada. It's easy to do, and they don't care. Oh, sure. Yeah, and if you've got a nice accommodating pizzeria, or you can make it yourself, or you can buy a pizza and scrape off the toppings, but that's tricky because the crust. I will go to Amazon. Thanks, Casey. Use my link though. Go to my my thing. And that, you don't have to. Just start to earn my keep. Also, I have merch. See, I'm having fun with this. I would like to hear what you guys think of all this different stuff, like sharing the slides. If I do this and I go, check out my merch. Bing, you can click on it. It'll take you to my, hoodies and I have a green book. This is also at my blog and on Amazon. Go Keto with Casey's 12-month record book. You don't need any of that stuff though. We just have to lay off the carbs. I do have a mug that says I laid off the carbs and laid off the excuses. You can see that at my merch. And there is also, why doesn't everyone do it? Because there is a lot of confusing information out there about the ketogenic protocol, or supposedly about the ketogenic protocol. And a lot of it's just incorrect. It's just wrong information. There is one person that, I don't know whether they do it anymore, but they've got keto in their YouTube handle with their name, and insists that you must get in at least 200 grams of fat a day in order to burn fat. The repetition is you got to eat fat to burn fat. That's just, as Dwight Schrute would say, false. For one thing, 200 grams of fat is 1,800 calories. I don't eat 1,800 calories in 2 days of all my food. So there's a lot of conflicting and confusing information out there. And, hopefully that'll kind of fade away. And it'll pick up on the next big thing, maybe the seaweed diet or something. And people can give wrong information about that as well. Yummy. The Mexican places are very accommodating too. Yeah, and they really, and they know it. And they'll say to us in Spanish, oh, no carbohydrates? That's right, no carbohydrates. And they say it in Spanish. Okay, I don't know who is saying this. I like it, except I don't know how to set it up with my name. I'll try fiddling around later. I like the new hoodie. Thank you. Okay, so just go to your bio, I think. Click on your thing and just update your bio information. So also I did this time, and I'm not trying to make this all about me and this platform, but I am trying because it's more stable and it has more features than YouTube. Plus, I own all the content. Some of these things, invasive. Anywho, I can send out an email reminding of the next event I'm going to have, the next live stream. If you don't want that, don't do it. I mailed it out with a message. Here's a link to my next event. If you don't want to get these emails, let me know and I'll take you off the list because I respect privacy. Let me see. Was there anything else I want to say? I talked about Patreon. Some of the patrons are here. Amy and Casey show Tuesday night, and you should be able to. It's all over my social media. So my Go Keto with Casey Facebook page. I think I put it on my blog. I'm sure Amy's doing stuff with it as well. We have a good time. There's no agenda. We don't sell anything. It's just support. And as Ange wrote, if it was so easy, there wouldn't be a Go Keto with Casey support group. It's simple, but it doesn't mean it's easy because we do have to overcome behaviors, incorrect information, outside pressure from family, from coworkers, from saboteurs. And there are people who will sabotage someone who's succeeding at something. And don't we know it? Misery loves company sometimes. Excuse me, I'm going to go to the Q&A. So Kimberly Reed writes, I've done keto on and off for years. I've come to realize that my biggest obstacle to staying the course is ... me, my mindset. For example, I got bored after many months go by. How do I overcome bad thinking? Well, here you go. You have just summed it up, Kimberly. Yes. I'm the only one that's in my way, and I'm not talking about the food. I've got the food down. I do pretty well. I don't, but there are other things I could and say I will do, and it has nothing to do with the food. It's very personal stuff. And I don't get out of my own way. So I can relate to that. I knew it before. So getting bored. Now, this is something, getting bored with the food. I think I talked about this last week. If we honestly think about not a ketogenic protocol, but normal Western diet, we don't really have that much variety on a personal basis. I mean, for most of us, it's okay. In our house, it was Thursday night was pizza. Saturdays would either be Mexican or Chinese takeout. Maybe a Stouffer's lasagna on Monday, and then mac and cheese with ground beef mixed in on Wednesday. I mean, and then it would all start over again. So, if we have like 7 or 8 meals in rotation before keto, we can do the same thing now, except you can have a lot more. Ground beef and lamb and turkey and duck and ribeye and T-bone and chuck roast, making a stew, making meatballs in a nice creamy sauce, spiralized zucchini with a nice low carb pasta sauce and some meatballs, cheese omelets. I mean, go on and on and on. We still have our routines. Sundays are ribeye days here. We just eat a lot less because my husband and I are both following this. We require less fuel. Okay, this has been the week of the cardinals. We have several bird feeders in our backyard, and there's a family of cardinals. The papa's eating right now, and there are 2 teenage cardinal boys that are going at it. It's a wonder to watch. Anywho, and then also get bored with food. If you're bored, you may not be very hungry. If you have to ask yourself, am I eating because I'm bored or because I'm hungry? Well, there's the answer. Because you're bored, not because you're hungry. But also, food shouldn't be entertainment. in my opinion, Your Honor. If we can switch that to food as fuel, we'll all do ourselves a big favor, in my opinion, Your Honor. Let me see. I'm going to jump back in. 5 new messages. Judy Porterfield, yes, email will be great. Thanks. I like having it. I had trouble getting back onto Patreon. Not sure what the issue is. Janine, I loved getting the email. Clicked on the link to join, but it took a couple of times before it was connected. I will also trying to figure out the bugs. Good question, Kimberly writes Ange. And Kimberly writes, thanks, Ange. Judy Porterfield, yum, ribeye, my fave. Have a great weekend, Casey and all. Board is looking through the fridge and cupboards, waiting to find something. Hungry is eating what you planned. I like that very much. Okay, guys, I so appreciate you, as I said, kind of taking this, getting out of my comfort zone, certainly, because I've been doing the YouTube live streams for ages. That's another thing. Somebody said, I'm so glad you're making videos again. I've missed you. I haven't missed a week, except when I was in Colombia. But I've been doing this for years. So I think the live streams are a different animal. And I did, tacky though it may be, add a support button down below, because on YouTube, people can do super chats and it's very nice. But they don't have that feature here, but they have the support button. So like I said, just trying to earn my keep. Friends, I'm going to plan on doing this again. I welcome the feedback if you have suggestions. And it is a little different than, what we're used to, but I like it. And I like the man who started it. He's a good guy. So I will plan on seeing you next time. Patrons, I'll see you Monday morning. And hopefully I'll see some of you for the Amy and Casey show on Tuesday. See you then. Bye.